The final form of the rapid fire grenade launcher rogue build is here, and it not only clears tier 100 pits in 3 minutes and change, but it also one-shots Uber bosses, Uber Duriel, Uber Andariel, Uber Lilith, all of them, without changing a single skill point or Paragon point. You can do everything with this build. And to switch between the two, I have 5 items here that I swap on and off. That's it. I don't change a single other thing to be able to do everything that I do. I'm going to explain to you everything I use in this video, why I use it, and also explain the rotation of skills that I use, whether I'm in a pit 100, whether I'm in an Uber boss, whatever content I'm doing. I'm going to explain how best to utilize this build to get the results that you're looking for. I'm going to go over the gear that I use in the speedrun pit 100 build. I'm using concussive strikes on the helm with dexterity, max life, armor, dodge chance, and chance to daze and stun. The chance to daze and stun is for CC. Dodge chance is because we get a lot of attack speed when we dodge from Scoundrel's Kiss. Armor to hit our armor cap, which is 9,230. Max life for more survivability, we're around 42,000 life, and dexterity for damage. Concussive strikes gives us more CC and damage to daze, so whenever an enemy is dazed or fully CC'd, if it's a boss stagger, then we get an additional multiplicative damage boost from the aspect itself. On the armor, we have Might. This is for the pit build. We have that extra survivability, which we really like. The ranks to Dark Shroud are so important on this. I get comments every day. I'm not as tanky as you. Why is that? I've followed the aspects and everything. It's because this affix, if you're missing it, plus ranks to Dark Shroud, you're going to lose so much survivability. It's very important that you get Dark Shroud on your chest plate. In addition to that, I have Dexterity and Max Life for more tankiness. Our tempers are more chances for CC and poison res. You want to make sure you get 1 res element on each of your armor pieces. You can either do, here I have chest and pants, so I have shadow and poison, and then I use the sockets in my jewelry to get the rest. You'll see I have my fire, lightning, and cold in the jewelry. So 2 temper res, and then the rest in your jewelry. On the gloves, we have dexterity. Ideally, I think I have attack speed here. I haven't rolled it yet, and it's very costly. But here, attack speed or dexterity, and then the crit strike damage and rapid fire are very important. On tempers, crit strike damage, again, very, very important, and your CC. So more chances to CC. Here we have freeze on our gloves. On the pants, Undying. Remember, this is for the pit build. This is great survivability and Undying. And then we have Dexterity, Max Life. That's damage and survivability. Armor, because it helps us hit that cap. We still need it in one other place. And then we have more CC on our pants and that res that I was just telling you about. On our boots, Frostbite and Aspect. This is going to give us big damage to frozen enemies, okay? Ignore the grenade skills. A lot of people get confused. Just read the second part. You deal 24% increased crit strike damage, which we have 2,500 crit strike damage on this build. So that's a huge boost to frozen enemies or stunned enemies. Everything is getting frozen and stunned because we run cold imbue and all that other great stuff. So Frostbite and Aspect is a ton of damage. I glanced over Retribution on the gloves here. This is a little bit more chance to stun, but really that 30% damage against stunned, this is going to be big because we're stunning everything, but also against staggered bosses. 30% multiplicative damage, essentially. On our weapon, Edge Masters is the best because we're always at full energy when we're using our big damage. So we put Edge Masters on our crossbow, and then we have Dexterity, Life for damage survivability, Crit Strike, everywhere you can get it. Crit Strike on this build. We have Crit Strike on the weapons and the tempers on the weapons as well. And then the other very, very important temper, obviously, is chance to cast Rapid Fire twice. You'll see all my weapons look exactly like this one. Dexterity, Max Life, Crit Strike twice, and Rapid Fire. See? Same on my one-hander here and my one-hander here. To go over the aspects, we have accelerating on our one sword, and then we have, and that's just to attack faster. We build up our combo points and precision key passive much faster with attack speed. and then expectant, because the rotation for a combo point precision build is 3 punctures to 1 rapid fire. You are building up your expectant all the way to 30% every time. Huge multiplicative damage boost for the build. Scoundrel's Kiss, this is what enables the build. Extremely important. Don't play rapid fire without Scoundrel's Kiss. It's what gives you the lob effect, the grenade launcher effect, essentially. And we got really lucky with the greater affix on attack speed here, and hit 2 tempers, or 2 masterworks already. So really happy with this ring. Make sure you have it. On our other ring, attack speed, dexterity, crit strike damage, the extra cold imbue casts are very, very important. You can get 2 from the temper, and then if you upgrade this to at least level 8 masterwork, those 2 become 3. So you'll see that I have 3 cold imbues on both my ring and my amulet. So this gives me 8 cold imbue charges. It's such great quality of life. I love this change in Season 4 to imbuement builds. You basically have 100% uptime on your cold imbue. You never have to worry about it again in just these 2 spots. In addition to that, obviously double crit strike damage as well on the ring, and then the amulet, just as much damage as you can possibly get on this thing. I've got attack speed, dexterity, frigid finesse. I've got an ideal amulet in the planner. Ideally, you want a bunch of passives, so frigid finesse, weapon mastery, exploit, malice, all great options. But this is what I'm using because this is what I found. Amulets are pretty hard to find. Rapid on the 1 ring to get the combo points and precision built up fast, and then Umbrus on the amulet. This allows us to unlock a 7th skill on the rogue. So important for survivability. We talked about Dark Shroud earlier and how you need it to survive. Well, you don't see Dark Shroud on my skill bar. In fact, even though it's maxed out, I am able to create Dark Shrouds just from this Umbrus aspect. So we are attacking so often. This is always up. We're basically always at max Dark Shrouds, and we get incredible survivability as a result. Now, of course, the specialization is combo points, which we've reviewed. Skill tree, I'm going to go over quickly. Puncture, this is how we build up our combo points. We also can apply vulnerability. Rapid fire, this is our main damage. We want advanced rapid fire. Every time we evade, we get 30% crit strike damage. This is a huge multiplier, and we are always evading. I'm going to go over the animation canceling during the playthrough. So you'll see that immediately after casting rapid fire, I use evade, and that is not only to keep up this advanced rapid fire, but also it cancels the animation of rapid fire, so it still shoots, but you don't have to stand still, so you can go right back to building up your combo points and unleashing the next rapid fire. This is so important for the build and really getting the most out of it and maximizing your DPS. And if you're going to get a 3-minute tier 100, this is how you need to do it. Get good with your animation canceling on rapid fire, and you'll see great results. Siphoning Strike for more survivability, and Sturdy for damage reduction. We get more damage reduction here with some more key passives. Shadow Step. This is used on the Pit 100 build. I have Shadow Step, but I also have points into Shadow Clone, and the Shadow Clone is used for the boss build. So I don't keep changing it every single time. Like this is my build. I don't need the points anywhere else. It's fine. It works fine. Save the money because you need gold this season. But you'll see I switch on Shadow Step for pits, and then for the bossing, I do Shadow Clone. Weapon Mastery for more damage. Dark Shroud, obviously, to get a ton of damage reduction. Agile, because we're constantly dodging. It helps for everything that procs based off dodging. Exploit Malice for damage. Cold Imbuement to deal more damage with cold. Frigid Finesse, when anything's frozen, we do huge amount more damage. 60% multiplier on this thing with +3 skills on your amulet. Shadow Clone, this is to trigger things like Tybalt's Will on the boss killer build, and then of course the precision key passive, the thing that makes this whole build work. My bonus is at 430% because I have like 2,500 crit strike damage on this build. So it's just a insane multiplier. That's why you get as much crit strike damage as you possibly can. Every time you basically attack 3 times, you will get full 4 stacks of precision. That means you will guarantee a crit on every single rapid fire you use, and it will deal this ungodly amount of damage. On a Paragon board, just go over quickly. Here we use control, damage to CC, but mostly for the damage to frozen, 20% multiplier. Here we just grab, nodes to activate it. Then we go into Tricks of the Trade. Since we're constantly switching between Cutthroat and Marksman, Tricks of the Trade, Legendary Node is a huge damage boost. We're going to take that. And then Canny, non-physical damage. We are always using cold damage, so we get a huge bonus to our non-physical damage and a multiplier at the bottom of 10%. Here we come up and grab a bunch of crit strike damage because it's vital to our build. Here, then we go into the No Witness board where we grab more crit strike damage and throw in our efficacy node to get a ton of max life. And this really boosts our life to very high numbers. Then we go to Deadly Ambush board. Deadly Ambush, we are going to put the Ambush glyph. This is more multiplicative damage for anything that's affected by a trap. Caltrops counts as a trap. I got this question a lot. Where's our trap? Why do we use ambush? For both this multiplicative and ambush, the glyph, we are using Caltrops to activate it. As you'll see, I use Caltrops a lot. It's great for repositioning as well. Then we go into our Exploit Weakness board where we're going to grab the Legendary Node. It's a huge multiplicative damage boost. And we put our Combat Glyph here. You get so much intelligence from this board around your glyph socket that we maximize that crit strike damage because it's so important. Then we go around and grab all the intelligence we can here. We go right over to the Cunning Stratagem. This is to get additional arrows from our combo points. This gets us to like 10 arrows every time we hit rapid fire, and then it gets doubled to 20. So we're doing 20 arrows, and I've hit for upwards of 20 million damage per arrow. So that's 4 billion damage on the boss spec that you're doing with this build. And you don't even have to change anything in the Paragon or skill tree to do speedrun clears of Pit 100. And then Eldritch Bounty, another 20% multiple. Real easy to just grab those right at the end there. All right, and then the swap for the boss killing build. So I found a Doombringer and a Tyrell's Might so far, but we're not using those, not yet. We put Umbrus on our chest because we have to take it off our amulet by using Banished Lord's Talisman. And then Tybalt's Will on the pants. We don't really need Undying for the bosses. Beastfall Boots. This is going to be activated by our Shadow Clone, and then we take off Accelerating because it's a little too much attack speed for elements for that multiplier of your damage. And then all you do is switch on your bar. Now for the boss killing build, what you're going to do is you're going to want to build up the stagger bar on the boss, and you're going to want to build up your 275 resource spent to activate Banished Lord's Talisman. Once the boss is close to staggering, you want to make sure you land a Caltrops on them. Then you want to dash through them because you get a 15% bonus from your crit strike damage for dash. Make sure you're cold imbued. Use your Shadow Clone. Make sure you evade, and then finally unleash your rapid fire. And you will do 4 billion damage. It's as simple as that. You know, it's a couple steps involved, but that's how you one-shot any boss in the game with this build as well. We didn't change a single thing. We just have a few easy gear swaps to do it. But yeah, when we're going through and fighting bosses as well in our Pit 100s, it's a very similar rotation. Now, we don't have the things like Beastfall Boots and Banished Lord's Talisman, but we do have Caltrops, we do have Dash, and of course we have our Evade, which is all boosting up our rapid fire damage. So when you see the boss of the pit about to get staggered, you want to go in, you want to land your dash, you want to make sure you're evading, and you want to get in under the effect of Caltrops. With this, you can kill just about any Pit 100 boss in 2 staggers, and if you don't get him in 2 staggers, 3 staggers, you can kill anything. Some of the bosses are easier than others, but I have multiple clears of tier 100 in around 3 minutes and change. With nearly every boss, so it's very consistent. It shouldn't matter what boss you have. The build is extremely strong, and I do feel like this is the final form of it. I'm going to continue to get my gear better on rapid fire, but I'm interested in trying out maybe some of the other rogue builds as well this season. So I'm gonna test out some other stuff. There was a really cool build by one of the community members, Boa. Longtime Diablo 2 community member as well. I've known them for a long time that I want to try out on Rogue. I don't know that it will compete with the Rapid Fire Rogue in terms of boss damage, but it's seemingly very good for pits, so I'm excited to try that out. I might have a video on that coming soon. Otherwise, I hope you like this build guide and this video. I'm really happy with how the build performed this season. Going in, this was the build that I always wanted to make, and I feel like I have achieved it, and we're gonna see kind of how much further we can push it in the pits. My clears are up to like 103 right now, and we'll see how much further we can get it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck with the rest of your season, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.